General Hospital spoilers tease that Marco is harboring much deeper and more calculated intentions than he appears to on the surface. Behind the facade of a talented young lawyer and Lucas's new love interest, a complex chess game is unfolding. Every move, every relationship, even every smile, has been carefully planned as part of a grand strategy that Marco is executing, a plan that was initiated by his father, Jen Sidwell, but has slowly transformed into Marco's own personal mission. With his handsome looks and natural charm, Marco has successfully infiltrated the social circles of Port Charles that his father could never reach, positioning himself perfectly to gather intelligence and exert influence. A new story is emerging about one of Marco's latest obsessions, a dramatic shift as he spends sleepless nights studying every detail of Sonny Corinthos' empire. He meticulously analyzes vulnerabilities and weak spots in Sonny's defenses. Marco's apartment, neat and modern in appearance, conceals a secret room, its walls covered with photos, charts, and notes about Sonny, Jason, Carly, and everyone in their orbit. Every relationship, every business transaction, every personal weakness is documented in remarkable detail. Marco has even constructed a 3D model of Sonny's businesses and warehouses, studying transportation routes and delivery points in search of weaknesses. More than just a mission from his father, Marco has developed a personal obsession with bringing Sonny down, a burning desire to prove his own worth not only to Sidwell but also to himself. He wants the world to see that he's not just Sidwell's son or Lucas's boyfriend, but a formidable force in his own right. In moments of solitude in his secret room, Marco has envisioned his moment of triumph, standing over the ruins of the Corinthos Empire, looking into Sonny's eyes as he realizes he was defeated by someone he never saw coming. These fantasies have become so vivid at times that Marco can almost feel the thrill of victory, a feeling of power he has craved since childhood, living under the overwhelming shadow of his powerful father. A new and explosive twist in the story reveals that Marco has uncovered one of Sonny's darkest secrets through an elaborate infiltration campaign targeting Diane's office. As a new lawyer at the firm, Marco skillfully crafted the image of an eager employee, often working late to finish files, but in reality, using the time to access Sonny's confidential documents. He befriended office staff, bringing morning coffee and afternoon pastries, crafting a persona of a thoughtful and reliable colleague. Even Diane, known for her sharp instincts and vigilance, was taken in by Marco's professionalism and apparent dedication. One particular evening, when Diane left the office for an urgent call, Marco seized the opportunity to copy a series of critical documents related to Sonny's secret dealings and hidden assets, information that could not only dismantle Sonny's business empire but potentially land him in prison. Using skills taught by his father, Marco hacked into Diane's computer, bypassed layers of security, and discovered encrypted files containing Sonny's deepest secrets. He used a special copying device developed by one of Sidwell's tech experts to clone the files without leaving a trace. Among the most explosive revelations was Sonny's covert acquisition of multiple properties along the docks, a plan so secret not even Jason was aware. This gave Marco the perfect leverage. The documents revealed that Sonny was preparing to expand his operations in a way that might encroach on other crime families' territories, a bold move that could trigger a turf war if exposed. What fascinated Marco most was that Sonny had kept this plan hidden from Jason, his right-hand man and most trusted confidant. It suggested a potential fracture in their otherwise unbreakable alliance, a crack Marco could exploit. Armed with this intel, Marco could not only help his father take control of these strategic assets, but also sow distrust between Sonny and Jason, weakening Sonny's power structure from within. Marco's plan is layered and precise. First, use the real estate secrets to help Sidwell seize the properties right under Sonny's nose. Next, leak the information to Jason, revealing Sonny's betrayal and fueling doubt and suspicion. And finally, as Sonny's empire fractures from the inside, Sidwell and Marco would strike, claiming Sonny's territory and influence in Port Charles. Complicating matters further is the genuine relationship that has blossomed between Marco and Lucas. Initially just part of the plan, Marco hadn't anticipated developing real feelings for Lucas, a kind, honest, and loving man, completely unlike anyone Marco had ever known. with his sincerity and compassion. Lucas found a way into Marco's guarded heart, breaking through the walls built over years of emotional self-protection and maternal rejection. In their quiet evenings together, sharing stories, hopes, and fears, Marco began to imagine a different life, one not defined by schemes and vengeance, a life where he could be his true self and be loved for who he really is. These moments sparked a deep internal conflict within Marco, torn between the path laid out by his father and the possibility of happiness he never thought he deserved. Each authentic moment with Lucas intensified this struggle, forcing Marco to choose between loyalty to his father and the new love growing in his life. Between a lifetime of vengeance and a chance at a normal, joyful existence. There were nights when, after leaving Lucas's arms, Marco stood before his secret room, wondering if he could give it all up, the plans, the plots, his allegiance to his father, for a future with Lucas. But then he'd remember the years Sidwell supported him when no one else did. The promise he made to his father, and the inner conflict would rage once again. Things grew even more complicated when Marco discovered Lucas's ties to Carly and, through her, to Sonny. While Lucas and Sonny aren't particularly close, this family connection added another layer of complexity to Marco's plan. If he went through with destroying Sonny, Lucas could be hurt, the one person he genuinely cared about. But if he abandoned the mission, he'd be betraying his father and possibly putting himself at risk. As Marco stood on the brink of a decision that could alter the fate of Port Charles, he didn't realize that Lucas had begun to notice strange inconsistencies, small puzzle pieces in Marco's story that didn't quite fit. With the instincts of a doctor and the scars of past betrayals, Lucas started to spot the cracks in Marco's narrative, the vague past, the strange phone calls at odd hours, the way he always seemed to know too much about people he supposedly just met. Brad Cooper, Lucas's close friend and someone with a keen sense for dishonesty, had warned Lucas to be cautious. "There's something off about him," Brad said. "He's too perfect. Too considerate, like he's trying too hard." Lucas brushed it off as jealousy, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Lucas's growing suspicion pushed Marco to accelerate his plan. He knew his window of opportunity was closing, and if he wanted to complete his mission, he had to act fast. But at the same time, every moment with Lucas made him question the path he'd chosen. Then came a pivotal moment. Just as Marco was preparing to send the files to Sidwell, he received a call from Lucas, inviting him to a family dinner, a chance to meet Carly and the rest of Lucas's loved ones. A simple invitation, but one loaded with meaning. For the first time in his life, Marco was being invited into a real family, not as a pawn or disappointment, but as someone worthy of love and acceptance. As Marco stood there, finger hovering over the send button, he faced the most difficult decision of his life: continue on his path of revenge and risk losing his only shot at happiness, or abandon the mission and face Sidwell's wrath. Either way, there would be no turning back, and the choice he made would shape not only his future, but the futures of everyone he had come to know in Port Charles. An inevitable showdown between truth and deception, love and loyalty, is fast approaching, and when it hits, no one involved will be left unchanged. Port Charles stands on the edge of a storm. And Marco Rio, son of Jen Sidwell, lover of Lucas Jones, and a man full of contradictions, holds the key that could either unleash or contain its destructive force. Marco is undergoing one of the most pivotal shifts yet, as his story takes a darker, more complex turn, revealing new layers of mystery and conflict he never anticipated. As he becomes more deeply entangled in the world of Lucas and the Corinthos family, Marco uncovers shocking information about his own father, Jen Sidwell, and a long-buried secret connection between Sidwell and Sonny that no one had known existed. The documents Marco found in Diane's office didn't just expose Sonny's secret business dealings, they also contained evidence that, 2 decades ago, Sidwell and Sonny were once business partners, before a bloody betrayal turned them into sworn enemies. This revelation shakes the foundation of everything Marco believed in, forcing him to question his father's true motives for sending him to Port Charles, and whether he's simply a pawn in a much larger game he barely understands. A major shift is underway. One that marks a turning point in Marco's journey as he decides to begin investigating his father's past. What he uncovers are dark secrets Sidwell has buried for years. As Marco searches for the truth, he learns that the feud between Sidwell and Sonny wasn't just about territory or power. It involved a woman, Natalia, Marco's mother. The missing pieces begin to reveal a heartbreaking story. Natalia once loved both Sidwell and Sonny, and at some point, she had to choose between them. Her decision ignited a decades-long war, and Marco, the child born from that volatile love triangle, may not be Sidwell's son as he always believed. The shocking truth about his origins sends Marco into an intense identity crisis. He begins to notice strange similarities between himself and Sonny, from subtle gestures to leadership style. Even personal preferences. Could it be possible that the very man Marco has spent his entire life preparing to destroy is actually his biological father? And if so, did Sidwell know the truth all along? Could Sidwell's decision to send Marco to Port Charles have been a cruel manipulation, designed to use an unwitting son to take down his own father? The entire mission takes on a disturbing new light, and Marco is forced to confront the most difficult decision of his life. Caught in a web of conflicting loyalties, Marco stands at a crossroads. He feels torn between three forces: Sidwell, the man who raised and shaped him; Lucas, the man who's shown him the meaning of true love, and the truth about his own origins, wherever that may lead. Each path demands painful sacrifice and could lead to irreversible consequences. As Marco stands at the edge of this life-altering choice, he realizes his decision won't just affect Sonny or Sidwell. It could reshape the entire balance of power in Port Charles. With the information he's gathered and the secrets he's uncovered, Marco now holds the power to either bring peace to a decades-old war or ignite a new conflict that could destroy everyone he cares about. Meanwhile, Lucas edges closer to discovering the truth about the man he's fallen in love with. A chance encounter with Natalia, who has secretly returned to Port Charles to watch over her son, provides Lucas with the first clues about Marco's true identity. And as Lucas digs deeper, unaware of the danger he's stepping into, each new revelation brings him closer to peril. As secrets come to light and choices must be made, Marco, Lucas, Sonny, and Sidwell will all be forced to face the consequences of the past, and the decisions they make in the present. In this game of power and revenge, no one can predict who will still be standing once the storm has passed. The truth about Sonny's criminal history is slowly being unearthed amidst a backdrop of sweeping, complex changes in Port Charles, making everything more tangled than ever before. One of the most important shifts is the secret collaboration between Carly and Diane, two strong and influential women in Sonny's life. Together, they've begun quietly gathering evidence, determined to expose the illegal actions and long-hidden crimes that Sonny has worked so hard to conceal. This initiative has not only pushed tensions to a boiling point but also placed the entire Corinthos family in greater danger than ever. This isn't just another power struggle, it's a fight for truth and justice, one that shines a spotlight on the underground power players of Port Charles. Despite their complicated history and past conflicts, Carly and Diane have put aside their differences to face a common threat. They've come to realize that if Sonny's sins continue to be hidden, the consequences could devastate their families and the community at large. Thus, they've become a powerful force, tirelessly investigating and gathering the clues they need to bring Sonny to account. This marks a significant shift in the power dynamics of Port Charles, as various factions maneuver through intricate plots and strategic plans. The heads of powerful families are all scrambling for even the smallest advantage, and Carly and Diane, with their mission to expose Sonny's truth, are taking a bold stand. They understand that this isn't just a personal battle, it's a fierce fight for the future of the city and their loved ones. Their calculated moves have raised the temperature in Port Charles, triggering a chain of dramatic and unpredictable events. From secret meetings to tense confrontations, they're slowly unraveling the darkest of secrets, attracting the attention of both allies and enemies. Confidential files, persuaded witnesses, and clever strategies have transformed their original idea into a full-scale attack on Sonny's criminal empire. But their efforts have also unleashed new disasters for the Corinthos family. As secrets begin to surface, long-standing family bonds are tested. Those once loyal to Sonny start to show signs of doubt. Tensions rise, and old alliances fray, turning personal disagreements into irreparable conflict. Carly, always one to put family first, is now struggling to balance protecting her loved ones with her pursuit of justice. Diane, who knows more of Sonny's secrets than anyone, is caught in a whirlwind of chaos, where each decision carries massive, unpredictable weight. The unfolding story of Sonny's crimes and the investigation led by Carly and Diane reveals the deep complexities of how power and betrayal are intertwined in the world of General Hospital. The constant plotting, deception, and shifting alliances bring the storyline to life with intense twists and suspense. Every character, friend or foe, becomes entangled in the endless game of power, where no one is truly safe. This evolution marks a major turning point not only for Sonny, but for all of Port Charles, opening a new chapter of high-stakes drama. As secrets are exposed, viewers will witness explosive reactions, new betrayals, and unexpected alliances, turning the city into a battleground for power, love, and survival. As the chaos intensifies, Carly, Diane, and everyone else will have to face the unavoidable consequences of dragging Sonny's darkest secrets into the light. The Corinthos family will never be the same, and Port Charles is on the brink of a revolution that could forever change its balance of power. In the eye of this storm, fans are in for some of the most dramatic, emotional, and shocking moments General Hospital has ever delivered.